All right, and we want to continue this conversation with the expert here. We have brought in a very familiar face. Many of you know her as, I call her the First Lady. Okay? Miss Visibility herself, digital strategist Roshanda Pratt, who is so familiar with all of this ChatGPT stuff.
Yes.
Break it down for me, Miss Ro.
I'm so excited to be here and talk about this topic, but I'm also concerned that my kids are watching this and say, hey, why did Mom introduce us to this? So ChatGPT came out last year, and it's an AI chatbot, right? And GPT stands for Generative Performative, I got to look at my notes because it's a big word here. Generative Pre-trained Transformer Language Model, which basically means it can talk like a human.
Oh my
and that's what makes this thing so transformative and how so many people are jumping on the bandwagon and using it.
And how are people actually using this platform? Because there are so many different variations to use it.
Okay, so one of the ways that people are using this, because what really drives this to be successful is that you have to make sure you're asking the right questions. When you ask the right questions, you get really good responses.
Right.
So people are using this for recipes. They're using this for birthday party ideas.
Wow.
I have a friend who used ChatGPT to write a whole book outline and the first chapter of her book. Another friend of mine uses it to help with her sermon series, Bible study, and I have even used it, ladies and gentlemen, to write a media pitch.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
That's impressive.
Okay, so this is what I want to talk about too.
Yeah.
How can folks who aren't technology savvy really take advantage of this? Like, do you need to watch a YouTube tutorial? Like, what do you need to do? Is it user friendly?
It is user friendly, and I think the best thing to do is to play around with it. ChatGPT is a website, so it's not like another app, another application. It's a website, and when you go on, it's going to ask you to log in, put in your email, and then create a user password. And the reason why you want to do that is because it will save all of your conversations. So literally, as you're typing in a question, like, for example, I have chicken, I have mushrooms, I have green peppers, what recipe can I create today? It's going to give you a recipe, and then you could follow up with that conversation and say, oh, I have cheese. Oh, here's another recipe that you can use with cheese. So it's really creating this human interaction and human conversation. Play around with it. That's the best thing we can do with technology like this.
Oh my goodness.
And let's talk about some of the concerns, because there are some concerns with ChatGPT.
Well, you know, as a parent, one of the concerns is the fact that it's not perfect, right? The technology goes up to about 2021, so you're going to get information that is very limited. The other thing with that is it's also kind of like a cheat code, right?
Yeah.
So there are concerns in the academic space that if we have students who are using this, how can we make sure that they're using their brain and not using technology in order to create thoughts and insight about particular topics?
Oh my goodness. And I have a feeling that schools, districts are really going to have to get on top of this and put in like right boundaries and things like that, and even create software to make sure that kids aren't cheating.
Right. ChatGPT is actually creating boundaries as well. So for example, you cannot search in there, how do you make a bomb? It is going to spit back and say, this is not the platform, and we're not going to be able to give you an answer about that. So things that are inappropriate, you're not going to get a response for. So I think that's a great, healthy boundary. But the other thing, as one of the viewers said, is that we have to learn how to embrace technology and not repel or rebel against it and say, okay, this is here, but how do we ingrain it in what we're already doing and create those boundaries that our students can use this in a healthy way?